this now. And then we're going to have a poll. Then we're going to have a small discussion, and then I'll come back and finish with the lecture. Okay. And I'm actually at the end showing you a short video, which I downloaded onto my computer. So it should not crash the whole Zoom, which is what happened on Tuesday. So let's hope that works. All right. So let us go to this week is residential segregation. And this, like I said, this is the cornerstone. You know, this is the bedrock of a lot of the other health disparities that we see. Geography is destiny. Geography does determine so much about health, mortality rates, life expectancy rates, rates of disease. We're going to see map after map after map. And so it's not just the geography, but even within the neighborhoods is important. So this is really foundational to so many of the other disparities that we'll see later that are due to race, that are due to gender, but this kind of undergirds so many of them. Where you live matters. So we're going to see here the link. We're going to understand the link between residential segregation. So our whole country is segregated, and you'll see that on the maps. But also neighborhoods, cities, and communities are also segregated by race, by social class. We're going to see how segregation is racially bound. We'll see some history and then some current reasons why it's racially bound. And we're also going to look at how that residential segregation links with health. All right, so what are some important terms that you need to know? We're going to be talking about the distribution of cities, but in the census data, they are called different things. So we call something a metropolitan statistical area, an MSA. And we use this a lot in the social sciences and the behavioral sciences and the biological sciences to measure these epidemiological rates. And so it's not just the city, like the New York metro area includes the city plus all the connecting counties, you know, Sullivan County, counties in Connecticut, counties in New Jersey, Nassau County, you know, like all the counties that are surround the actual city of New York. The same is true for Washington, D.C. The D.C. metro area includes Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Fairfax County in Virginia. So 2 counties in Maryland, a county in Virginia. It might even extend further than that now. So then we have something called an urbanized area, and that would be a city, let's say like Altoona, that's not by a major metro area, but it is a city that's greater than 50,000 people. So the core population in Altoona is 50,000 people. Actually, it's larger than that. But then we also have rural areas, and we're kind of in a small city, very small city, but mostly in a rural area. We're not anywhere near one of those MSAs, those metropolitan statistical areas. Whereas like somebody who lives, you know, up county in Bucks County, which is outside of Philly, even if they live at the furthest tip of Bucks County, they're in a rural area, but they're very close to an MSA. So all of that kind of matters in terms of your health and health disparities. Okay, so let's have you guys think about this for a minute. Maybe jot down some of these questions. So think about your neighborhood when you were younger, the main place that you spent time growing up. Was your neighborhood safe? Did you have access to transportation? Right, I was born in Jersey and I lived there till I was 9, and we were right by a Jersey Metro train station in Metuchen, New Jersey, that took us right to New York City. My dad took the train every day into work. But it was also, we could walk to school. It had sidewalks, right? But then I moved to Maryland in the 4th grade, and there was horse farms, and, you know, we lived in the suburbs, and there were no sidewalks, and there were no buses, and there were no trolleys and trains. You know, my parents grew up in the city. They were used to that. Was your neighborhood diverse? Did everyone look and sound like you? right? So my neighborhood in New Jersey was very Italian. I'm Italian. We were close to New York City. There was more diversity. And then I moved to Maryland and it was very Caucasian and not very Italian even though Italian is Caucasian, but it was very different. Take a moment and think about, what did it feel like to walk down your street? Or maybe this, did you actually walk down your street? Or were you like my family when we moved to Maryland? Every time we left our house, we basically had to just get out of the driveway because there was nowhere to walk to. You couldn't walk to a market. You couldn't walk to a drugstore. You had to drive everywhere. But what about the clean air? Was it clean? We take that for granted here in Center County when we live here, that we don't have, we are downwind from some things in the Midwest, but largely we have not a lot of pollutants in our air. What about inside your house or apartment? Did you have a lot of dust mites? Did you have a lot of allergens, or was the sealant good on your house, or was there a lot of moisture and humidity? And then finally, were there unemployed people hanging out in public spaces? Did you have a lot of, did you pass like a homeless population on a regular basis? Did you see successful people, leaving for work every day? Or did you see anybody leaving? Like you might have been, very suburban or very rural, and that wasn't even part of your day. All right, so thinking about that, we are going to take just a few minutes, believe it or not, to break up into some small groups right here. And I'm going to have you guys there is a little doc to fill out, but mostly just put your names in it. And also, so I'm going to put it in the chat, and then I'm going to put you guys in a room. And it's going to be random, but mostly just fill out your names. And then any comments about, so just meet each other. We're going to take 5 minutes to do this. So everybody keep your sort of comments to just a minute or two about where you came from. Look for some similarities, and then we'll come back here and I'll put a little message to say when we're coming back. So meet each other with your names, put your names in the doc, and then talk about just your neighborhood growing up.